Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
He was working with R. Kelly and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both Aaliyah. They shared so much in common.
Puff was the first one that came through and made us feel like, it was us.
Jaguar Wright is really having a moment right now because people are finally realizing she's been trying to tell us about these industry moguls for years. Jag is now back at it again, and she's spilling some fresh tea on Jay-Z and all his alleged crimes. Jay's been really quiet after all these accusations about Diddy started flying around, and he probably wants us to forget that Diddy is one of his besties. Just months ago, Diddy said in an interview that Jay-Z is the only person besides his mom who's allowed to call him Sean. Also, when Diddy won, or as some would say, bought, the BET Lifetime Achievement Award last year, Jay publicly praised Diddy for being an inspiration and showing everyone you have to have a little bit of crazy to make it in the industry.
The whole mantra, can't stop, won't stop, is like, you gotta be relentless. You gotta have a bit of crazy. You can't take no for an answer. You gotta make it happen. He embodies that.
A little bit of crazy, huh? I mean, if all those allegations about Diddy are true, it's a whole lot of crazy in his case. Not just crazy, but downright evil and demonic. But get this, according to Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z is no saint either. In fact, she's now claiming that Jay is actually worse than Diddy. The only difference is that Jay moves in silence. Plus, he's got his wife's image to hide behind, so most people have forgotten all about Jay's sketchy past. From his creepy friendship with Predator R. Kelly to his own alleged crimes of grooming and exploiting underage women. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's just jump right into it.
Teairra Mari, who was signed to Jay-Z's record label when she was 16 years old, and she was on Love and Hip Hop, and then she just disappeared.
Y'all, who knew that Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy would open the floodgates on the entire music industry? And it looks like it's now Jay-Z's turn to pay the piper. So there's this viral blind item making the rounds saying that Jay-Z supposedly got involved with singer Teairra Mari, who was signed to his label when she was underage. Not just that, but when Beyonce got wind of it, Jay allegedly messed with Teairra's career too and blacklisted her from the industry for a decade. Now, the blind item was originally believed to be about Ashanti, but it actually makes much more sense that this is Teairra Mari because she dated Ray J, who is referred to in the blind item as pseudo corn star. And she was also discovered by L.A. Reid, who is now facing SA allegations of his own. According to this blind item, L.A. Reid, who is over 30 years older than Teairra, allegedly groomed her and started sleeping with her shortly after he discovered her. This was all happening in the early 2000s, shortly after Aaliyah died. So all the record label executives were on the hunt for a young female singer to replace Aaliyah. And as you probably know, Aaliyah was also used and exploited by these creepy industry men.
In the wake of the passing of Aaliyah, certain record producers were looking for someone else who could step into her shoes in more ways than one. As I have told you before, Aaliyah was SA'd as a minor by several producers and was treated like a piece of meat to be bought and sold by different producers up until the time that she passed away. A couple of years after she passed away, a fairly large record producer started making some calls about a singer he had working out of his studio. She was 15 and eager, and soon different label heads were scouting her. And this is allegedly Teairra Mari. When they heard her voice and then saw how she looked, they started scouting her even harder. She was sleeping with one of the producers, the one who made the initial calls.
Around this time, Ray J became interested in Teairra and wanted to take control of her career. He then allegedly brought her to the attention of Jay-Z, and Jay signed her to Def Jam when she was just 16 and started mentoring her. But the blind item claims that Jay was doing more than that.
Soon, she was sold to this pseudo corn star and celebrity sibling. Can also take a guess at that one. He loves controlling vulnerable women. It is his specialty. Anyway, he started controlling the career of this singer. He brought her to the attention of this A-plus list rapper and mogul, allegedly Jay-Z. And he signed her to a deal. By the time all of the ink was dry, she was just shy of being legal. But that didn't stop the mogul. He liked to sample the new talent. He was sampling her on a fairly regular basis, but he was also involved with the current A-plus list singer who was in his face every day. and this could allegedly be Beyonce.
So we know that Ray J and Teairra started dating in 2006. They were very public with their romance, and they were involved with each other for 9 years on and off. Now, what makes that interesting is how Jay-Z dropped Teairra from his label that same year. After Jay signed Teairra to Def Jam, he worked closely with her on her first project, and she dropped her debut album, Rockefeller Records Presents Teairra Mari, in August 2005. That album was pretty successful, hitting number 5 on the Billboard 200 chart. And by the end of the year, Teairra already started working on album number 2. But then, out of nowhere, production stopped halfway through, and Teairra got a call right before her high school graduation telling her that she was getting dropped. Teairra later said in an interview that Jay-Z ghosted her and never reached out personally to explain what went wrong. And this was after he tried to portray himself as a father figure.
I'm no longer on the label because, well, to be honest with you, I don't know why I'm no longer on the label, but I know that I just took some time off to finish school or whatnot, and then, in the midst of that, I was in Detroit, and I just got a phone call, like, I think I was getting ready for prom or something, and they were like, we're gonna be letting you go, you're young, you have a bright future ahead of you, the womp talk, and that's how it happened. I was shocked. I was sad because Jay didn't call me himself, Jay Brown called me, and I was, confused because I didn't know why. He was like a father figure at the time, but right now, I can't say that because, I don't talk to him anymore. And he didn't even call me and tell me bye-bye, so.
So according to that blind item, Jay dropped Teairra because he was supposedly sleeping with her. And Beyonce went crazy when she found out. And then on top of that, Ray J was heated because he had eyes for Teairra himself. So Jay dropped her quicker than a hot potato and put all the focus on Rihanna, who was signed around the same time as Teairra. But wait, there's more. Rumor has it that Jay also blocked Teairra's career and made sure no other label could scoop her up.
The thing is, though, that corn star in charge of her career was feuding with the mogul and told the mogul he would not be allowed to hook up with the singer again. I assume he thought the mogul would think she was something special. Apparently not as special as the current A+ lister, because the new signee was dropped and the word was put out on the street. No record deals for her from any label.
But sadly, Teairra isn't the only young lady Jay-Z allegedly groomed and destroyed. Word on the street is he was supposedly messing with Foxy Brown when she was just 14 or 15. Plus, he also met Beyonce when she was 16 and he was pushing 30. Now, Beyonce later claimed they didn't start dating until she was 18, but who actually believes that, considering Jay-Z's past and his close friendship with predators like R. Kelly? Speaking of R. Kelly, for years, there's been talk about Jay-Z having some role in Aaliyah's tragic death because she supposedly turned him down and he was jealous that she liked Dame Dash more than she liked him. So for those of you who don't know, Aaliyah's creepy uncle Barry Hankerson introduced her to R. Kelly when she was just 12 years old. And this disgusting P-word R. Kelly ended up marrying Aaliyah when she was 15 by using a fake ID.
It is very close. It's my best friend.
Yeah, cool.
Now who found her? In the whole wide world.
I found Leah. As a matter of fact, Barry Hankerson, my manager, who's her uncle, told me to go up to Detroit and hear her sing. Once I got up to Detroit, I didn't have to hear her sing because she was glowing.
But according to Dame Dash, even after Jay-Z found out what his friend R. Kelly did to Aaliyah, he stood by him. In fact, Jay started recording his joint album with R. Kelly shortly after Aaliyah died. And that's when Dame said he realized something was morally wrong with Jay-Z.
But what happened was, as soon as it came out, the tapes came out. So karmically, it couldn't breathe. It already destroyed. But then years later, they tried to do the tour.
The best.
Yeah, but it still didn't work out. But you notice I wasn't a part of any of that, and the karma happens. But the thing I didn't understand is I was like, I know I'm not with that. And because of the moral challenge and him choosing one way, I knew morally we weren't the same. So to me, Rockefeller was it was over. I couldn't with it. It was something that to me was just like, not to say unforgivable, but I couldn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't understand how people didn't, I thought, well, then the people aren't gonna have that.
What's also suspicious is that the same year Aaliyah passed, Jay-Z and Beyonce stepped out in public with their romance, and that's when Beyonce's solo career took off. Jaguar Wright spoke about this before, and she said that there are way too many strange things lining up to not question if Jay-Z had a hand in Aaliyah's tragedy, because he climbed that ladder by allegedly taking out all his rivals.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as the that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest.
sensei.
One of the dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay-Z.
Jaguar pointed out that as soon as Big L was gone, Jay started cozying up to big shots in the industry, including Sean Diddy Combs, or Honeycombs, as Jag prefers to call him.
Building a working, camaraderie with Honeycombs and AKA Diddy. And
Why do you give him the honeycombs? Why do you give him honeycombs?
because he smacks so sweet. That sodomite.
And then Jaguar also said that the reason Jay-Z never turned his back on R. Kelly, even after he did what he did to Aaliyah, is because he might be guilty of the same thing.
And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. They made all of those records together. They both Aaliyah. They shared so much in common. Whoever talks about best of both worlds? Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That nigga swept that smooth under the rug.
Why?
We know why.
You know what? I got a better question.
Yeah.
How valuable is a Biggie Smalls verse?
According to Jag, as soon as Aaliyah passed, Jay snatched up producer Rich Harrison from singer A. Marie, who was another threat to Beyonce's game. And next thing you know, Jay and B were sitting at the top of the pyramid.
By the way, wasn't this all around the time when Aaliyah died?
Yeah.
And Beyonce's solo career was struggling? Jam on your horn now, that fucking bullshit ass record. From the Austin Powers, some of the worst. They were having a hard time taking her solo. And then Aaliyah died. And then they brought Rich Harrison in, and your love got me thinking so crazy right now. She liked posing with him in pictures for Page 6. Aaliyah didn't. She fell in love with Dame. And Aaliyah's gone, and
Now, when R. Kelly's disgusting crimes were exposed to the world, Jay-Z's PR crew allegedly went into overdrive, trying to wipe out any signs of their friendship. And that's why you never hear anyone bring up Best of Both Worlds anymore. But Jay-Z's PR team is powerless when it comes to Jaguar Wright. And she's now back at it again, claiming that Jay is even worse than Diddy, and that it's only a matter of time before his evil is fully exposed.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
This put been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years.
In this same interview, Jaguar spilled about how Jay-Z did some messed up things to a woman she's close with, who is also part of the industry. Now, I'm not sure who Jaguar is talking about, but if you have an idea, let me know in the comments, okay? Because I know y'all want to know too.
He pushed somebody I love too far.
Oh.
And you know who I'm talking about, bitch. We were kids. We were in our 20s. How long do you expect her to have to suffer fucking a bad choice of fucking you? Yes, she's in the industry. Yes, she was put in exile. No, she wasn't perfect, but she was everything, still is.
Anyway, some folks are still clowning Jaguar and calling her bitter for going after Jay-Z. But judging by all the comments, most fans are actually on her side. And they're saying she's been trying to tell us about Jay long before this situation with Diddy blew up. Someone said, I believe Jay-Z's smarter than the rest as well. Jay-Z has a close relationship with high power companies and people. The reason Jay-Z's deeds have been kept out of the public. Yes, I believe that boy who Jay-Z refuses to take DNA is his son. And they say his mom was underage when Jay-Z got her pregnant. I believe everything Jaguar Wright is saying. And another one wrote, Jay-Z is the head to the snake in the R&B/rap world. Each sect has their, quote, leader, end quote. He's fought hard and destroyed a lot to get there and didn't care who he heard to do it. He wanted to mingle with them so damn bad. That should tell you exactly what's in his soul. They come back. The first time I laid eyes on Jag, I knew. I'm glad she's stronger and more able now. She's needed. Well, let me know in the comments if you believe any of these allegations about Jay-Z. Do you think he could really be worse than Diddy? Comment down below and then check out this next video.